Hey folks, my name is Vilong. I'm going to show you how to use the Pymetrics endpoint. In this example, I'm just going to quickly show you how to use the GetBulkResults API endpoint. So I'm just going to show you this using Postman, which is a tool I like to use just to test endpoints. All right, so this is our API documentation online. One key thing that you'll need to do is authentication API to get a session ID, which I'll show you briefly in Postman. But we're going to use this GetBulkResults endpoint. So I'm just going to click on this. There we go. So you'll notice later when I show you, I'll have something similar to this. It'll pull in a variable that I have, one being the session ID, one being the client ID. So client ID generally stays pretty static. It's pretty much like your username. Session ID will change, and that's what you'll need to get using the authentication API. So a separate endpoint to get the session ID, but once you have that, then you can run the other commands. And then what I'm going to show you here is just how to pull the results for a bunch of orders. And ideally, I get a response similar to this basically from that. All right, so this is Postman. Just like I was mentioning earlier, there's the client ID or username. Then you have your session ID, and then you have a bunch of order IDs. Those are the important components here. You notice that this endpoint is the endpoint that we're hitting. We're doing a post request. It's XML format that we're using. And this is the endpoint that I have been using to retrieve the session ID. So you need like pretty much like a username password to get this active session ID. And once you have that, then you'll be able to put that into this command. I just save that as a variable, which is this will pull into this API call, and then I'll be able to pull out the results here. So if I just scroll this up a little, you notice here now I've got the results that I'm looking for here. So just different formats basically. But this is just an example of a sample, I guess, endpoint download that you'll get once you hit this particular endpoint with the payload that you're sending across to it. Okay, if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks.